Welcome and hello. I hope that you are having a fantastic day. Today, we're going to talk about, is Bitcoin like the 1988 internet? This is kind of interesting. We're going to talk a little bit about what a researcher believes, why a researcher believes that today's Bitcoin is similar or like the internet was in 1988. We're going to take a look at some charts that show the growth of the internet, and we're going to talk about some of the core principles to Bitcoin. So hang on and check out this video. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. This is my opinion. I'm not smarter than you. You are smarter than you realize. Do not trust what I say. Do your own research. Now, this researcher compares Bitcoin to the internet in 1988, and it says that the world's leading cryptocurrency is an entire monetary system. So that's an interesting statement, and it definitely holds some truth to it because, well, it's more than a technology or a financial instrument or a consumer application. Bitcoin is an entire monetary system, according to Nuzzi, the director of technology research at New York-based Digital Asset Research. Nuzzi maps out over 40 edgy protocols being built on top of Bitcoin, a dynamic network that he says can challenge anyone trying to flaunt the Bitcoin is old technology meme. And as he goes into this article, he talks about some of the different areas that Bitcoin is being used in. But just in brief, we know that Bitcoin is being used as a way to store money and store value. There are thousands, I don't remember the exact number, but I think we're hitting somewhere around 15, 20,000 ATM machines around the world that you can buy and purchase Bitcoin or sell Bitcoin at. There's all kinds of ways to hook up bank accounts to Bitcoin. There's lots and lots of different exchanges. And then from that has grown out all these other cryptocurrencies and altcoins. In fact, if you go down to MoneyGram today and you transfer money via MoneyGram somewhere else in the world, it's very likely that that transfer ran over the XRP network, which is a cryptocurrency. And so by using MoneyGram, you may have actually transferred the money using cryptocurrency. And MoneyGram has reported that that's saving about 70% on each one of those international transactions. It's also saving a huge amount of time. Instead of those transactions taking days or weeks, they're taking minutes and seconds. And so it really is, there is truth to the statement that Bitcoin is an entire monetary system. And it's evolving as that and a lot more. I mean, if you look at the IBM Food Network, you can see situations where it's actually being used to trace food from farmer all the way to grocery store. That way, if there's another Ebola breakout in, say, romaine lettuce or some other disease in meat or contamination in your hamburger, they can trace it all the way back to its source. And they can do it much faster than they used to be able to do it. Just a year or two ago, any of those kinds of medical outbreaks from food took days, weeks, or months for them to be able to research it back out to the source. And this is allowing them to do it in seconds using blockchain technology, which is what Bitcoin runs on, kind of like email runs on the internet. So this is the growth chart for the internet. And this blue line right here is the number of people in the millions that are using the internet. And 1988 actually comes about here on the chart. The chart doesn't even include 1988. And so what he's really saying is that Bitcoin is still in this section of the chart, and given time, it's going to do this sort of a growth. In fact, if you look at the different videos I have on my website, we have over 100 different videos. You'll see an enormous number of uses worldwide that Bitcoin is engaged in, and a lot of different reasons why Bitcoin has a very, very bullish future. I mean, with things like the New York Stock Exchange and Microsoft and Starbucks all getting involved with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, and On and on the list goes of major corporations building things on blockchain, on Ethereum, and on Bitcoin that will alter the way the future works in tremendous ways. I mean, the IBM Food Network is just one of many, many, many different examples of some of the different uses of Bitcoin and blockchain, especially like even in unbanked countries, Africa. I haven't been able to verify this. I was going to do a report on it, and I saw an article that said that the 41% of all new Bitcoin users come from Africa. And I thought that was very interesting. I haven't been able to confirm the numbers. To me, they're still kind of a rumor or hearsay. But if I can validate that as being true, 41% of new users coming from Africa is huge. But what that tells us is the people in areas where banking is suspect, where people don't trust banks because banks have known to be fraudulent and taking people's money and all kinds of other issues with the monetary system in their local countries, whether it's hyperinflation or just a lot of fraud going on or bribery or things like that, people are turning to things like Bitcoin because they have the following virtues. So we know that the 5 pillars of open blockchain is that it's, well, number one, it's open. In other words, you can download the software, it's open source, and investigate it for yourself. It's public, so all of the records of transactions are on a public ledger that anybody can see and read. It's borderless, so the money can be the cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or whatever blockchain you're talking about, whether it's Ethereum. It moves across borders and is in a sense in most other countries, especially if you're talking. Now, this doesn't apply to every cryptocurrency. You got to look at it crypto by crypto, but Bitcoin, for example, because it's open source, there's been hundreds of thousands of people all over the world who have downloaded the Bitcoin software and are mining Bitcoin, and there are people in virtually every single country around the world that are mining Bitcoin. And so no matter where in the world you go, your Bitcoin is already there. It's neutral, meaning it's not controlled by any government. There's no entity that can go in and say, oh, gee, today we're going to print 18 million Bitcoins or 18 million such and such a cryptocurrency, because it's not something that any government can control, and it's censorship resistance. And I think the best explanation of censorship resistance is if the government shows up and says, shut down this cryptocurrency, do the people who run it, own it, are leaders of it, can they say, I can't? Or are they going to have to say, I won't? If the answer's I can't, like it is with blockchain, because with Bitcoin, not blockchain, if they say I can't, like they would with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is running on hundreds of thousands of computers all around the world, and the only way to shut it down is to shut down those hundred thousands of computers, and there's no way to do it because many of them are just being ran by private citizens. Some of them are being run by corporations, and it's easier to track down those companies and then shut down the company. But because it's in China and it's in Russia and it's in the United States and it's in virtually every country around the world, it's impossible to track down all of them and shut down all of them, and that's what it would take to shut down all of Bitcoin. And so Bitcoin has a large degree of censorship resistance. As a result of that, nobody can shut it down. And so those are kind of the 5 pillars that are going to be part of why it has this kind of growth. Another part of it is the applications that people are building on it, and that's what this researcher kind of focused on, was that it is a monetary system and people are building apps on top of the software. And so all of that combined gives us a bullish outlook for the future of Bitcoin, even if today's price is a little bit wacky. In the meantime, how can I be of service to you? Do you have questions? Is there anything I can answer? Is there any way I can help you? Let me know in the comments below, and we would be more than happy to respond to you. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and hodl. And I hope that you have a fantastic day.